Hello, and welcome to the OT meeting room. In this video, I am going to talk with you about locating research articles. In speaking with a colleague, I learned that not everyone knows where to access journal articles or knows how to access journal articles once leaving the academic setting, because not everyone is affiliated with a school, an OT or an OTA school that has an extensive science library database. And so I wanted to share with you a little bit some places where I find research articles, where if I'm not on the college campus or if I don't log into the library from my home setting. And so let's talk a little bit about where do we find research articles. If you're working in a setting and you want to work on a project for your employer and they don't have access to a library. Before I go into where to find some research articles, though, I want to mention that if you are employed by a teaching hospital or if you're affiliated with a system that has a teaching hospital, chances are very good that there is a library associated with that facility and that you may have access to it. The hospital system that I work for has a library, and I was fortunate to be shown that library when I was hired. I had an amazing boss this woman who hired me, she brought me right to the library and showed me where it was located and told me how to get in touch with the librarian if I needed help searching for literature. And I was talking with a colleague years after that, which is still several years ago, and that person did not know that we had a library that we had access to that we could use in our system. And so I'm just saying this because sometimes things happen where you're working for a company and you just may not be aware of the resources that are available to you. So if you are working for a teaching hospital, or if you're in a system where a teaching hospital is a part of your system, then chances are there is a library affiliated that your system is affiliated with. And also I want to remind you and let you know that librarians who work in these types of libraries, in the science libraries, they will do research for you. If you have a topic that you want to research, they will find articles for you. All you have to do is communicate with them and let them know what it is that you're looking for. And this is a really good time saver when you're doing projects for work, so that you don't have to spend all of your hours doing the actual research, looking for articles. You can have somebody help you do that. Okay, so now that's the first one. If you're working for a system that's a teaching system, chances are good that they're affiliated with a science library. If you are in teaching adjunct or full-time or part-time as a faculty member in a school that has an occupational therapy program, likely if you're listening to this, if you're teaching in an OT or an OTA program, then you know you have access to a full database and it's much easier to find articles. If you don't, so now I'm going to start sharing my screen and I'm going to show you a couple resources that are available to us. So the first thing I want to show you is the AOTA website. Now, you do have to be a member of AOTA to access these resources, but they do have quite a few options for helping to integrate evidence-based practice into your practice. So first of all, they have practice guidelines, and these are available to purchase. As a member of AOTA, you can access the American Journal of Occupational Therapy. They also have critically appraised topics, and I've used these and they're very nice. And they have several categories. They have the children and youth, health and wellness, mental health, productive aging, rehabilitation and disability, and then work and industry. And they've actually done the research and they've summarized the articles, and they'll tell you if there's evidence for or against interventions, and they will tell you if the evidence is weak, moderate, or strong. There's also the evidence exchange, which I personally have never used, but that's something else. If you're interested in the critically appraised papers and participating in that, is something that you might want to investigate. There's also the Journal Club Toolkit, and then there's an evidence-based resource directory, which is also for members only. And it does provide you an online resource for internet sites that are related to the evidence-based practice of OT. And then there's the Everyday Evidence podcast series. And again, this is for members only. So if you are a member of AOTA, just want to remind you and maybe even let you know that these resources are available for you to use. And it can be a place where you can begin to look for information that can support whatever is the project that you're working on. Now, let's go to the NBCOT site, because they give us access to ProQuest. So if you want to do some research and do a little search, all you do is log into the NBCOT website. You click on the certificates button, and then you will go on the far left-hand column and click on evidence-based resources. And that takes you to ProQuest, which is the database for finding journal articles. So you will click on the ProQuest button, and then you have to click on another button to go to ProQuest. And looks like my internet's running a little slowly today. And here we are. And you can search all of the databases. You can be specific and just look for journal articles, books, videos and audio, dissertations and theses, and more. There are newspapers, magazines, trade journals, reports, wire feeds, blogs, podcasts, and websites, and then conference papers and proceedings. And coming over here into the search bar, right below the search bar, you can put in more parameters. You can select the full text box and peer reviewed. And then you just enter your search terms and start your investigation. Those are really the only two tools that I'm familiar with outside of using an academic library or your science library at a place of employment. I hope you found this beneficial. If you have any questions or would like more information, please feel free to comment in the comment section. And thank you for listening and watching.